Every 4 years, billions of people stop what they're doing. Wars have paused, cities have fallen silent, entire nations have held their breath. For 1 month, the world becomes obsessed with a single competition. But here's the mystery. How did a simple game become the most watched sporting event on Earth? Who came up with the idea? And why did the very first World Cup almost never happen? Tonight, we're uncovering the incredible story behind the FIFA World Cup. A story filled with ambition, politics, financial disasters, and one man who risked everything to make history. And what happened at the first tournament would change the world forever. Long before packed stadiums and global television audiences, football was a fragmented game. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, soccer was spreading rapidly across Europe and South America. Countries loved the sport. Fans loved the sport. But there was one problem. There was no true world champion. Nations played occasional international matches, but there was no tournament that brought the world's best teams together. At the time, the Olympic Games were the closest thing football had to a world championship. Yet many people felt the Olympics weren't enough. Professional players were often excluded, the competition lacked consistency, and football's growing popularity demanded something bigger, something revolutionary, a tournament dedicated entirely to the world's most popular sport. But who would make it happen? The answer was a determined Frenchman with an impossible dream. His name was Jules Rimet. At first glance, he didn't look like someone who would transform sports history. He wasn't a superstar athlete. He wasn't a famous coach. He was a lawyer. But Rimet believed football had a unique power. He believed the game could unite nations. He believed people from different cultures could meet on the field instead of the battlefield. And after witnessing the horrors of World War I, that vision became even more important. In 1921, Rimet became president of FIFA. From the moment he took office, he had one goal: create a global football tournament unlike anything the world had ever seen. Many thought the idea was impossible. Travel was expensive. Communication was slow. National associations disagreed with one another, and some believed fans simply wouldn't care. But Rimet refused to give up. For years, he pushed FIFA members to support the dream. Then finally, in 1928, a vote changed everything. FIFA officially approved plans for the first football finally had its world championship. But the biggest challenge was still ahead. Where would it be played? Imagine organizing the biggest sporting event in history, only to discover that almost nobody wants to attend. As the first World Cup approached, FIFA faced a shocking crisis. Many countries were preparing to stay home. Some believed the tournament would fail before it even began. And when the opening day arrived, only a handful of teams had actually made the journey. How did the World Cup survive? The answer is one of the most unbelievable stories in sports history. To host the first tournament, FIFA selected Uruguay. At first, the choice surprised many people. Uruguay was a small South American nation. But there were good reasons. The country had recently won Olympic gold medals in football. Its national team was considered one of the strongest in the world. And in 1930, Uruguay was celebrating the centennial of its constitution. The government offered something irresistible. It would pay for stadium construction. It would cover many expenses. And it promised to host a spectacular event. FIFA accepted. The first World Cup would be held in Uruguay. But then, disaster struck. The world economy was collapsing. The Great Depression had devastated countries across the globe. Money was scarce. Travel was difficult. Crossing the Atlantic Ocean required a long and expensive voyage by ship. European nations hesitated. Some refused to participate altogether. Others argued the trip was simply too costly. For a moment, it looked like the tournament might collapse. Incredibly, only 4 European teams eventually agreed to attend: France, Belgium, Romania, and Yugoslavia. They boarded ships and spent weeks crossing the ocean. Weeks. Imagine that today. No charter flights, no luxury travel, just a long journey into uncertainty. Nobody knew whether the event would succeed, but history was already being made. July 13th, 1930, the first FIFA World Cup officially began. 13 teams competed. The atmosphere was electric. Crowds packed the stadiums. Fans witnessed something entirely new. For the first time, nations were competing for football's ultimate prize. France scored the first goal in World Cup history, a moment that launched a tradition still continuing nearly a century later. Match after match captured the imagination of spectators. The tournament was proving the skeptics wrong. Football's global championship was real, and the world wanted more. As the competition progressed, 2 teams emerged as favorites: Uruguay and neighboring Argentina. Their rivalry was already intense, but now the stakes were higher than ever. The World Cup final. Nearly 70,000 fans packed into Montevideo's Estadio Centenario. Tension filled the air. Supporters from both countries arrived in massive numbers. Some reports described the atmosphere as chaotic. Others called it unforgettable. The match itself was dramatic. Argentina led at halftime. Their supporters believed victory was within reach. But Uruguay fought back. Goal after goal shifted momentum. When the final whistle blew, Uruguay had won 4-2. The first World Cup champions had been crowned. Players celebrated, fans erupted, and a sporting legend was born. The success of the 1930 tournament proved something important. Football wasn't just a regional sport. It was truly global. Nations wanted to participate. Fans wanted more competition. The World Cup quickly became FIFA's crown jewel. Future tournaments expanded. New countries joined. Rivalries intensified. Stars emerged. Then came unforgettable moments, miracles, upsets, dynasties, heroes, and heartbreak. Over the decades, the tournament grew beyond anyone's imagination, from black and white radio broadcasts to worldwide television audiences, from 13 teams to massive global competitions, from one stadium in Uruguay to spectacular venues across the planet. The World Cup became more than a tournament. It became a shared human experience. Through all of this, one man's vision remained at the center of the story: Jules Rimet, the lawyer who dreamed of uniting nations through football. For over 3 decades, he guided FIFA's growth. His belief transformed an impossible idea into reality. The original World Cup trophy was even named in his honor. Today, millions know the tournament. Billions watch it. But few remember the man who made it possible. Without his persistence, there may never have been a World Cup at all. Think about this. The first World Cup featured only 13 teams. Traveling there took weeks. Many nations refused to participate. Experts doubted it would survive. Yet from those uncertain beginnings emerged the largest sporting event on Earth. A tournament capable of uniting billions of people across languages, cultures, and continents. All because one man believed a ball could bring the world together. And nearly a century later, every cheer, every goal, every unforgettable moment still traces back to that extraordinary summer of 1930. Narrator, the next time you watch the FIFA World Cup, remember, you're not just watching a tournament, you're watching history.